Hi guys, welcome back to Power Plant. I am here and today is a very sad day because I lost my dear friend Silvano Zandonati. Who is Silvano Zandonati? Silvano was the owner of Power Plant. He permitted me to bring Ellös inside and work on it. We became very close friends. Every day he was here with me. I repaired Ellös, he repaired his own boat. Was a very nice person, was called the professor because he teach mathematics in the school when we were young, and after that his passion was to repair and rebuild boat. We became very close friends. Every day he was here with me. I repaired Ellös, he repaired his own boat. Power Plant will be not more the same, so I hope Silvano now will sail in nice water in the other side. One day probably we will meet again, but for the moment I'm here alone. So I want to say ciao Silvano. One day probably we meet again, but for the moment I miss you and hope your life over there will be better and sail in safe water. Ciao Silvano. Hi guys, welcome back to Power Plant. Another day here in the mid-November, very cold today, but today I go to Franco factory because I need to finish my tiller. I already prepared the plate, the old plate, original one, but I shine and make some modification to get a very nice and very clean installation. So guys, this is the shine plate of Ellös that contain the thick tiller. For first things, I completely make modification of the insert of the bolt here that maintaining this attached to the rudder. I make a different type of stuff because I don't like the bolts and the nuts here, but I make this new type of system that have two blind nuts here, more beautiful to see. Originally there was also here bolts with the nuts in the other side, and I will use this system completely different, and I have an old screw that go perfectly straight inside the countersink place. One here and one here, and after that I will use the same system of Hallberg Rassy. For the moment I use a provisory stuff, you see a bolts with the threads. I will use a full stainless steel cylinder here with the threads of the end of each side, so I can use the blind nuts. You can see here I make two only to get a spare stuff, something happen, but it's only provisory. This is stainless steel 316 and I can have two, but the original one will be only full cylinder of stainless steel. Now we go to Franco factory because I need to prepare and create the new tiller. This is the old one, this is the new one. So I need to make some modifications, especially here. Now Michele helped me to cut a small section so the wood fit perfectly into the metal. Yes, you can see the section, and now the metal plate fit perfect inside the wood. Now I made around the corner of the tiller. I need to use two different corner, the 5mm round, and after that I go to 12 to 50mm, and after that a lot of sand by hand. And now we start. Also, those machines help a lot to get a nice and tidy surface, but you need to pay a lot of attention, because if you make a mistake you take out too much teak, so very light passage. I make a very curved tiller, and I use this method to sand because I need to get a very nice surface when you grab the tiller. I want to have a solid sensation to get a very strong tiller, also when there is a high sea. Now I use this machine because allow me to use a cutter with a curvature of 20 mm, so give me a good roundness to the edge of the tiller. Still more sandpaper by hand, and now with Franco we check the correct dimension of the tiller. For Franco is okay, for me I think I need more thin, little more thin, but I need to round also the corner on the end of the tiller. With all the teak I scratch and sand, I had the smell in my nose for a week. But I have very nice smell in the teak. I like it, very oily. I like because you can choose your perfect shape of the tiller, and so I pay a lot of attention to get the very nice sensation in the hand when I will use it. So I like to make the tiller, I really like. Now I check is all flat. Okay guys, the first tiller is done. It's very sturdy and very safe. You can pick in the hand. This was the original one. For my opinion, it's too small. I prefer to have a big one and more control in my boat. Now we move to the principal one. This is the spare one. After that I need to make the drill. It's done, job done. Before proceeding with the new tiller, I want to check if the spare one don't touch the edge of the cockpit, because I don't want to make a mistake. So first things is try provisory the height of the tiller. Okay, now it's time to insert the provisory bolts on the tiller and check. Okay guys, you can see there is some space just here. There is some space, have a look. So I can leave bigger one and more strong. Now I need only to fix, and perfect. And now we start to use this huge machine to flat down the surface of the tiller and get a very smooth surface. I like to work on the teak because I like the smelling of the oiled wood, so it's a pleasure for me to work on the teak. And now it's time to make the bottom surface of the tiller flat. And now let's do the border with a radius of 20 millimeters to get a very nice grabbing of the tiller. And of course, coming back and start to sand by hand, checking the correct surface, and sand, glorious sand. Now I need to make a round corner of the end of the tiller with the router. I use 8 millimeter round corner, and after that I will use some sandpaper to get the perfect finish.
You need a lot of sanding by hand to get a very nice stuff, but the result will be astonished. So I spent probably 4 hours to make all the two tiller and finish it. I like a lot the tiller in the board because I get the sensation of the speed in my hand and the control of the board very intimate, because you can listen any single vibration on the board. So I'm always for the tiller in the board. I don't like the well, but it's my opinion, of course. So for this reason I make a very sturdy tiller, because must stay for a long time, and the thickness of the tiller permit me to install a attach for the autopilot.
Okay guys, I just finished to sand my tiller. I use this shape, you can see it's round, but I can leave my palm here and more comfortable than original one. That was so small, I don't give my too much strength, you see, it's not comfortable. I prefer to have a square one, so I can put my palm here, it's more comfortable, and there is sturdy one, so it's quite finished. It's all thick, 5 layers of thick, very sturdy.
Okay guys, this is not the most interesting video of my YouTube channel, but I want to show you how I did my tiller. So could be inspiration if you do your own tiller, how to do, which is the best things to do when you make the new tiller. So I hope you enjoy this video in any case.
You can see here, my tiller now will test on the board. If here fit well. After that I make the holes and the job is done. Very nice one.
Now it's the right time to make the holes for the through bolts, the new system I did. So I completely fix the thick tiller on the metal plate, and we start to sign the exact point where I need to drill. You need to pay a lot of attention to make a perfect drill. I can't ruin my thick tiller, so it's a very delicate task to do. I'll show you in a moment how will be the drill on the thick tiller. This is the tiller. I need to make a different hole, bigger and a small one. The big one for the bolts you can see on the corner, and the small one for the threads. So we start with the first hole, the bigger one. Now, with the caliper, I check how much I will have to drill on the thick in millimeter to make sure that the female screw is perfectly fit inside. Okay, first hole did, now we need to make the second one. But before do it, I check if my screw fit perfectly inside the hole I did. Now it's time to drill the second part of the hole, the back one, and this is the second hole. I need to do the same hole in the other side of the tiller, of the check of the tiller. First check. We start with the new hole in the other side, and after that the second one, so I got 2 new holes. And now using the 6.5 millimeter drill, logically not using in this way, of course, but in straight way, it's time to make the final hole. Countersink the holes, so the tick doesn't broke in both sides. Okay, I need to check if there is a correspondence of the holes and assemble everything. This is the proof if everything works. I use 2 screwdrivers, one on each side, one fixed and the other turn. And first bolt is inserted. Now it's time to insert the second one and check if the holes are correct and perfectly made. Seems very good, so I fix the second bolt and looking the result. Yes, very good. What you think about it? You like it? Okay, now it's time to check the second tiller I did. So I take out the bolts on the main tiller. Well done. We can say that the first tiller is done. Now we focus on the second one. As you can see in my boat, in my opinion, there must be always doubles of everything in the boat. If one breaks, we have the replacement immediately ready. So now we start to drill the second tiller. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to completely review the whole tiller drilling operation, but I can already see the end of the whole operation. You will be wondering what I am doing with the Dutch tape. My answer is simple. I cover one part of the hole because I will run some epoxy inside to protect the inside surface of the holes and prevent the wood from rotting over the years. So this is very important task you need to do when you make some holes on the wood and you want to protect them from the moisture. I use this type of tape because don't stitch in the epoxy, so it's very easy to take out when epoxy cure. I use always a good quality epoxy, the 1010 CFS of Czech, my sponsor, because for me is the best epoxy resin. Not because it's my sponsor, but because it's my opinion and a whole opinion of many people's. It's time to fill up all the holes with epoxy. The tape in the other side don't permit the epoxy go out. Remember to use this stick to take out all the bubbles inside the resin. Fill up the last part of the hole and we can say for the moment job done. Cleaning with acetone excess of resin. But I will not let the resin get hard. Before do this, I will remove the tape from underneath, so the resin, still liquid, will go out, and leaving a part of the resin on the surface inside the hole, which will be act as insulation from the water. Okay, I take out the resin from the holes, the resin has cured, and now it's time to make the final assemblation of the plate on the tiller. But before fixing definitively, I need to polish more the stainless steel because during the test I scratch a little, so I need to go back to Andrea factory and shine more the steel plate. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my video, remember to leave a thumb up and we see you in the next video. Gabriele say to you, ciao!